Welcome to Breakup Cheater. Let's dive into today's story. I'd been engaged to Olivia for about 10 months, after 3 years together. For the last 2 years, she'd been living with me in my downtown apartment. We met at a mutual friend's rooftop party on a warm spring evening. She borrowed my lighter, not because she smoked, but just to start a conversation. That moment sparked something fast and intense between us. The wedding was just 5 months away, and we were deep into the planning phase. Venue tours, cake tastings, endless debates over seating charts. But lately, I noticed Olivia pulling away. She was quieter at dinner, distracted during our planning sessions, like her mind was elsewhere. One Thursday night, the day before we were supposed to visit a vineyard we'd both been looking forward to, Olivia came home tense, like she'd rehearsed something. She put her bag down and just stood there. "Ethan," she said quietly, "I think I need a break." I thought she meant a break from the wedding stress or her job, but then she continued. "A break from us. Just for a few weeks. I need space to clear my head before we take this leap." "No contact," she added, as if she'd been coached on exactly what to say. I didn't argue. "If that's what you need, then okay." "How long?" I asked. 3, maybe 4 weeks. I'll stay with my cousin Mia. I just need to breathe without the pressure of planning everything. Mia was Olivia's older cousin by 2 years, the one Olivia always described as her safety net. Mia lived alone in a condo across town and had a knack for getting involved in Olivia's relationships just enough to stir things up without ever taking responsibility when things went south. I nodded slowly. "No contact means no contact. You sure?" "Yes," Olivia said quickly, almost relieved. We agreed she'd pack enough for a month and leave that night. There wasn't much left to say. I thought about the facts. The apartment was in my name, the venue deposit and caterer fees paid by me, and the engagement ring on her finger wasn't just a piece of jewelry. It was my grandmother's heirloom. While Olivia packed, I stayed in the living room. The silence between us was thick. When she was ready to leave, she kissed my cheek lightly, as if leaving for a weekend trip, and walked out. I closed and locked the door behind her. She wanted silence. She was going to get it. 10 days into the break, I stuck to my end of the deal. No calls, no texts, no social media checking. I filled my time with work and long runs, trying to ignore the growing quiet. Then, one Sunday morning, my phone buzzed with a Facebook notification. Mia had posted an album from a wine country weekend. I wouldn't have clicked, except the preview showed a face I recognized immediately. Olivia. She was on a sunlit patio, glass of rose in hand, leaning close to Mark, her ex-boyfriend from years ago. His arm was around her shoulders. The next photo showed them laughing. Another captured them in front of a sunset, her head resting against his chest. My stomach twisted. This wasn't a clear my head break. This was a vacation with an ex. And that no contact rule. It was just so I wouldn't interfere while she rekindled something with Mark. I didn't call her. I didn't message Mia. Instead, I took action. First, I canceled our venue tour and called the caterer to pull the plug. Both deposits were non-refundable. A $3,000 loss in an instant, but better that than losing more. Second, I scheduled a locksmith to change the apartment locks. Not because I expected trouble, but because it was my place and I wanted security. Lastly, I made a note. Retrieve the engagement ring when this was over. My grandmother's diamond wasn't going to become a souvenir of Olivia's reset. By that afternoon, the shock had faded. I wasn't going to blow up her phone or give her a chance to spin a story. She wanted space to figure herself out. Fine. I'd give her all the space she wanted, and use the time to make sure she had nothing left to come back to. Day 28. My phone lit up. I almost let it ring out, but curiosity won. "Ethan, hi." Olivia's voice was bright, almost giddy. "Good news. The break is over. I've had time to think, and I'm ready to come home so we can get back to us." I let a beat pass. "That's interesting," I said slowly. "Because while your break might be over, Olivia, so is this engagement." Silence, then sharp. "What are you talking about?" "I'm talking about Mark. About your wine country getaway." About the photos Mia posted. Her voice rose. That wasn't what it looked like. He was just there. We were catching up. You're blowing this way out of proportion. Kept my tone calm. You asked for no contact. I gave you exactly that. Turns out no contact meant no interference while you reconnected with your ex. I'm not interested in picking up where you left off. She scoffed. You had no right to cancel the caterer and the venue. That was our wedding. Our money. My money, I corrected. And yes, I cancelled. There's no wedding to plan. What I do with my money is my choice. This is ridiculous, she snapped. You don't get to just end things over one misunderstanding. I'm not ending things over a misunderstanding, I said firmly. I'm ending them because you made your choice during your break. Now I'm making mine. You can come get your belongings. The engagement ring comes back to me. I'll set a pickup time. We'll keep it short. Her tone softened, pleading. Ethan, just. I'll text you the details, I said and hung up. 5 minutes later I sent the message. Friday 6 p.m. building lobby. Mia will have your boxes ready. 1 hour window. She wanted rules. Now she had mine. Friday came. I made sure everything was ready before 6. Every piece of Olivia's stuff was boxed neatly in the entryway. Clothes, shoes, toiletries, laptop. Right on time, the building's glass doors swung open. Olivia walked in, not alone. Mia was with her, and behind them Olivia's mother, Diane. Our building manager, Omar, stood a few feet away, arms crossed. So, this is it. You packed me up like I'm being evicted. Olivia said, eyeing the boxes. This is me honoring the pickup time we agreed on, I replied evenly. Her eyes flicked to the boxes, then to the elevators like she expected more. Where's the espresso machine? She asked immediately. In my kitchen, I said. It stays there. I bought it. Diane stepped forward, smiling, but it didn't reach her eyes. Ethan, this is all a misunderstanding. She needed time. Surely you can work this out. We're past that, I said firmly. Her belongings are packed. She can take them and be on her way. Olivia folded her arms. The ring. I'm keeping it. It's mine. That ring was my grandmother's, I said evenly. It stays with my family. You can hand it back now or I'll have my lawyer request it formally. For a moment she looked like she might fight me, then she pulled it off and I caught it midair. Mia muttered something under her breath. Diane sighed loudly. Olivia bent down, grabbed a box, still glaring. You're making a huge mistake, Ethan. Maybe, I said quietly. But it's mine to make. An hour later they were gone. The glass doors closed behind them. The lobby was quiet again. A week later, I received a letter from a lawyer representing Olivia, accusing me of canceling the wedding without her consent, misusing what she called joint funds for the venue and caterer deposits, and causing her emotional distress. At the bottom was a demand. Reimburse her $5000 and issue a written apology, or face court. I didn't waste time. I called Andrew Cho, a lawyer I'd worked with before on a real estate deal, and sent him everything. My bank statements proving the deposits came from my personal account. Screenshots of Olivia and Mark in wine country. Timestamped during the no-contact break. The texts where I gave Olivia a 1-hour pickup window. The next day Andrew called. This is smoke and mirrors, he said. She has no claim. We'll respond firmly. His reply to Olivia's lawyer was a surgical strike. He made it clear the apartment was solely in my name, purchased before the engagement. The deposits came from separate pre-engagement funds. And the wedding cancellation was a direct result of her breach of trust, clearly documented by her own public conduct. 2 days later, Olivia's lawyer sent a shorter letter. They were reviewing the matter further. I never heard from them again. It was the cleanest win I'd had in weeks. Not because I'd beaten her, but because it proved what I'd known all along. When you keep your receipts, literally and figuratively, you can't be played. By the end of that month, I heard whispers from mutual friends. Mark was gone. Apparently, once Olivia started talking about moving in, he realized she came with drama and financial baggage he didn't want. He ended it after 2 weeks. No big speech, just told her it wasn't a good time. Mia lasted a little longer. Olivia had moved back in with her after Mark but refused to contribute to rent or groceries. That ended with a screaming match and Olivia dragging her suitcases to her car. Last I heard, she was back at her parents' house. Diane wasn't thrilled either. Someone said Olivia had started working retail again, something she swore she'd never do after college. And the deposits she demanded from me. She never got them. Now she was learning exactly how long it takes to earn that kind of money when you're clocking in hourly. My apartment felt different without her. I'd cleared out her things, repainted the living room, rearranged the furniture. No reminders of a wedding that never was. No clutter from someone who treated the place like a hotel. The best part. The quiet. The same kind of quiet she demanded during her break, except now it was on my terms. For the first time in months, I was thinking about what I wanted next, without someone else's rules. 3 months after the pickup day, a text from Olivia popped up out of nowhere. I've been thinking about everything. I'm sorry for how things happened, but you have to admit you were cold about it. We could have fixed this if you'd been willing to talk. I read it twice, then set my phone down. 10 minutes later, I typed my reply. The choices you made during the break ended the engagement. There's nothing to fix. I wish you well. I hit send and left it at that. No arguments. No justifications. A week later, a mutual friend told me Olivia was showing people our text exchange, framing it as proof I never cared. Didn't bother me. People believe what makes them feel better. The ones who mattered already knew the truth, or didn't care enough to take sides. Life had moved on. I was dating casually, spending more time with friends, even planning a solo trip I'd been putting off for years. The ring was back in my safe, next to a photo of my grandmother wearing it. The deposits were written off as the price of clarity. Now, when I walk into my apartment, I don't brace for new demands or passive-aggressive comments. It's just me, the space, and the gentle hum of the espresso machine in the morning. She wanted a break, reset, a silence she could control. In the end, she gave me something better. The kind of quiet you choose for yourself. And I wasn't about to give that up. 6 months after that last text, Olivia's name barely crossed my mind. Then one evening, I was at a small bar with friends when I spotted her across the room. She was with 2 women I didn't recognize. Dressed sharp but looking tired. Our eyes met for a moment. No wave. No move to come over. Just a quick look away. I didn't go to her either. Not out of spite. There was simply nothing left to say. Walking home that night, I realized something important. That chapter wasn't just closed. It was archived. Filed away in a part of my life I'd never need to revisit. All the noise, the back and forth, the justifications and excuses, they were gone. She taught me, unintentionally, how valuable it is to protect what's yours. Your time, your space, your peace. And the irony. She set the rules that ended up removing her from all of it. I don't wish her harm. But I don't want her back either. Some people think closure comes from mutual understanding, from sitting down and talking it through. I learned it can also come from a locked door, a clear decision, and the quiet confidence that you didn't let someone rewrite your reality. That was the real ending. The rest, just background noise. Thank you for watching Breakup Cheater. If you've been through something similar, share your story below. Let's support each other. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more real stories like this. See you next time.